In this video, we are going to learn how to create flights and teams. So you go to www.golfgenius.com to get to the site. Once you're there, you click on Sign In, upper right hand corner. Sign in with your account and password. We need to find the league. We can either find the league by hitting to the right where it said last visited league. If it's San Diego Hookahs and Slicer, it'll take us to the league. Or we can go over to the left where it says all current, click on all, and it gives us the leagues. I'm going to do the last visited this time. Click on that. It brings up our next field. We need to find the tournament. We click calendar. We click tabular view. And that lists all the different tournaments. We are working on March 28th right now, so I'm going to open that up on the right side. And you see we already have our players, which we've gone over in a previous video. We now want to create the flights and teams. So we're going to click on Round Divisions, Flights, Teams. That opens up this field. This actually shows all the 26 confirmed players up here on the top. And all we have to do is click on Manage Flighted Golfers. There's Edit Membership, Manage Teams, Manage Groups, Manage Flight Golfers. That's the one we're going to click on. We click on that. We have it automatically set up within the system to create those for you. So the first thing is we're going to do is we're going to automatically create flights using a custom field, because we have the flights set up by a custom field internally already. So we're not going to use the auto flights, autofill, or the create manually, although you can do it that way. We're going to do it this way because it gives us that custom field. The custom field is the word tee. And we have our custom field set up for front tee as all of the front tee players. And then based on handicap index, we have the A and B players who are flights 1 and flight 2. And we want to make sure we include all confirmed players when we create these flights. So we got selected T. Now we go to the right and we click on Next. And then we click on Continue. And is now creating our 3 flights. Takes a couple of seconds and you'll see them appear in a second. Okay, here's our 3 flights. Right now we have 10 confirmed in the back flight, which would be flight 1. We have 9 in the forward flight and 7 in the middle flight. So now the thing we want to do is we want to change the name from back, middle, and forward to flight 1, flight 2, and flight 3. So we click on Edit, type in flight 1. Yeah, it already comes up for me because I've done this several times. Click on Save. Go to forward flight, edit name. This will be flight 3. Save. And then the middle flight becomes flight 2. And click on Save. Now you notice that these 3 flights are actually out of order. We want to put them in order. So I'm just going to go over to flight 2, left click on the box right there on the left, and just drag it straight up, and it's done. You always see how in the order flight 1, 2, and 3. And that's how you create the flights. It's that simple. Now we want to create the teams. So we're going to go to create new pairings. After we hit rounds, it takes us back to this main menu. You notice we're just going down the line doing each function. We're going to click on new pairings. And we're going to do automatic scheduling. So we're going to click on that first box. We're not going to do custom fields. And we're not going to create them ourselves. We're going to click on No Flights for step 2, and that's because we already have our flights created and we don't want to create another set. If we had a guest coming, they would be kept together automatically. I like to use the ABCD for sorting out because that gives us the option to do two things. We can balance the teams somewhat by indexes, and secondly, it helps diversify the pairings so that you don't play with each other as much. It spreads out everybody playing with everybody a little more frequently. So we click on that. So we've done no flights, the ABCD. If you want to do the random, you can do it, but you may have very unbalanced teams. Click on next, and that is now going to create our teams. That, you see what we got there. We can go back and edit if we want. It says these pairings are going to create the best pairings for this round. Then we're going to click continue on the bottom right hand corner. And it's now creating those teams. You notice on the left side it says tip of the day. This shows up all the time. It just gives you tips of how to do certain things. You can ignore it, but you can look at it and see what's happening. Okay, this comes the field where you finish creating your teams. And the first thing you got to do is you need to fill in your blanks with blinds. We always call them draws. The new system calls them blinds. So we need a blind for this team and for Dan Reynolds' team. The total indexes are up there right now, but you can see the 159, they're all pretty close except for the ones that are missing players. 94.1, 94.7, 94.8, 93, then we are 58 or 97. So if we want to know the individual ones, we can click on additional information and click on we click on handicap index and save. And now you'll notice everybody's handicap index is right next to it. So we need to add blinds. So the way to add blinds is we use one of these tabs at the bottom. And if you read across, you'll see we have the tab add blinds right here. So we click on that. And we know that to keep the teams balanced, we need a blind with a team, if we subtract 60, of about 34 and about 26. So what you do is you go down the list and you pick up the first person from the spreadsheet we have that fits those criteria. So somebody that's around a 34 would be, let's say it would be, I haven't looked at the list yet, but let's say it would be somebody like Larry Capitiello. So we click on add blinds, we click on the person, not down there, you go down here and select them. We find Larry down here. And then, invalid because I didn't do it right. Let's try it again. Click on blinds, go down and select them. Then you go up and you click on the empty spot and it adds it. Now you can see that brought it to 90.5. If you don't like that, we can remove that. So we click on remove players on the tab, go up and remove Larry. So we need somebody with higher. 33 would be closer, so we can go down and say add blinds. And we can find Felix and add him. There he is. Click on that and bring him up. And we really should try to stay, we want to do A's for A's, B's for B's, and C's for C's, but we really need to know that list and go down and pick them in that order. So the first person on the list that we have, the actual spreadsheet list, the printed list, we find that that's who we should put in there. And then on this one, we need about the same, so we need to find somebody. Let's try Larry on this one. We click on blinds. And let's see if Larry fits this one better. Larry Capitiello. There he is. Click there, and that's 89. Still should be higher, so we need to remove the player, remove Larry. Now we need to add a blind back in, and we need to use somebody higher than Larry. So let's use John Carney. He has a higher number. Click on him and add him. Now you can see all these indexes are much, much closer, within a point of each other. And when all the blinds are added, you click on Save Pairings. And that's how you form your teams and add your blinds the first time. As a side note, this particular field called Existing Teams is the same field you'll work with on Wednesday mornings at the tournament if you have no shows and have to create new blinds and remove players. So this is the field you'll go to work on that. So that concludes this section on creating the flights and the teams.